Welcome back to Titan Academy. In this video, we will cover how to use web fields in a dynamic template and when to use fields from a web project versus regular merge fields from Salesforce in your Titan Docs or Titan Sign projects. I've gone ahead and created a simple Titan web project here that I've called Prospect Questionnaire. Here we will allow users to log in. Upon login, we will retrieve that contact records, first name, last name. Here I've gone ahead and created a sample prospect questionnaire project. In this simple project, users will log in with an email address, and upon their login, Titan gets some top-level information, first name, last name, a phone number, and an email. And from here, users can fill out information about how they heard about us and some reference information. Now, upon submit, there are a number of things that you can do in Titan. You can send the information into Salesforce, or we can produce a document. Here for this use case, let's pretend that we don't necessarily want to save these responses into Salesforce. However, we do want to push them into a document. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to do that. I will open up Microsoft Word. I have the Form Titan add-in installed. I've gone ahead and logged into my environment. So let's create a template that merges some data from both Salesforce with the contacts information and also from the web project, these two questions, the responses that the user gives. So what do we have here? A first name, a last name, phone number, email, and let's put an account name in here too. This is information that we can pull from Salesforce because we know that this record already exists, and we want to display something, for example, the account name that we aren't displaying on the web project here. So in that scenario, we would want to get the information from Salesforce. I'll go ahead and go to Insert Edit Field. This is all going to come from a contact record. So the record is contact, the object is contact. We want to get the first name, the last name. I'll go ahead and add multiple fields. Here, when adding multiple fields, we can add fields that are only directly on the object. We'll have to do a separate step for adding the account name because that's a lookup. We'll add the mobile phone, and we'll add the email. I'll go ahead and insert these, and then I'll cut and paste them to the appropriate place. Let's get the last name. And finally, for the account name, we will go open that query again to the contact. We'll look up to the account ID and get the account name. Okay, so these are all fields that will come from Salesforce. We can also add to this document fields that are collected on the web form. How did you hear about us? And would you like to refer us to anyone? This way, we can pull this information that's entered by the user on that web project into this document, but we don't necessarily want to put it into Salesforce. So this is how you would do that. We go to Insert Edit Field. Instead of choosing Salesforce as the source, we choose Web Project. We're going to find our project. This is sorted by most recently accessed projects. I'll pick Web Field Doc Merge Demo. We choose the page. This is a single page project, so it's the home. And then we select the field. So if I want to put, how did you hear about us here? Let's do it like that. Let's add that label, and let's do the same thing for the other field. Insert Edit Field, Web Project Merge Demo. My page is the home page. Would you like to refer us to anyone? We will insert this. Like so. Two notes when doing this. If you include web fields as such, as I've done here, from a web project in a Titan Docs or Titan Sign project, you limit yourself to using that particular template only in conjunction with the web project. The reason for that is we only get these values when this document is launched from within this web project, because otherwise these fields would be blank. So we want to go ahead and publish this now. What I'm going to do is publish it to the web, and I pick my web project right here, Web Field Doc Merge Demo, and I will go ahead and click Publish Template. The document is uploaded successfully. Now I'm going to come back into my project, and I go in the gear to Tools, Document Generation, and there's nothing there. I need to refresh the page. Let's try that again. Tools, Document Generation, and I see my template is available here. For further details on all of the functions and features of the document generation in Titan Web, please see the appropriate videos. For this instance, we'll go ahead and edit this. I'm going to click on Next. I'm going to change the name of this. Let's just call this Web Field Doc Merge Demo. We need to choose a variable to pass in as the record ID, as in the contact record ID that we want to query. In this case, this is the identity of the user that's logged in, so I'll choose Smart VID. Again, for further options on that, please see the associated videos on the use of custom variables. All right, so we want to add our options. Let's allow for a preview. Let's allow for a download. Let's allow for pushing to Salesforce. In this case, we will only preview, but in order to use these other options, they need to be enabled. So we'll click on Apply. We'll close out of this and then go into Save. I now want to add an invocation of that document somewhere here in the project. Let's do this behind the Submit button. I will edit the button's action. In the action, I want to add a document generation node. I will choose the template. In this case, there's only one available to me. And I'll choose our action. Let's say we want to preview. All right. I'll go ahead and click Next and save this. Let's go into my preview and refresh the page. Okay, so our information is loaded. Wander Workerbee is logged in, showing the phone number and the email. How did you hear about us? I heard about your program from a Google ad. Would you like to refer us to anyone? Yes, please contact me to discuss the appropriate references. Okay, and now when we click Submit, Titan will generate the documents. We will pull in this information up here from the record in Salesforce, and then we will get these two responses on the web form and put them in this document. Let's have a look. It'll fetch the file, and there we go. Like this, we can push the data into the document without necessarily pushing it into Salesforce if the use case does not call for that. And that is how it's done.